Good evening, everybody. It's Norma Cowie once more with mental mind treatments on a Monday night at 7 o'clock on Pacific time. I have my little list already here from some people who have emailed me and texted me, which makes it easier in lots of ways. I trust you've had an interesting week. I certainly have. I have been learning how to do shorts. I put one up today and I finally found another. Anyway, I'm learning more every time I do it. So I'm just working away at one a day because of other things that are happening in my world, but not every day. I missed some of the weekend, but I'm getting there. So anyway, it's been good so far. So comments on the whole have been great, and I hope they keep up that way. So I want to appreciate all of you who have been supporting me with the mental mind treatments, that have been supporting me on the other shows, because I enjoy doing them, and I'd like to be able to keep up doing them. Hi, Marianne and Kayla. I see you're here, and I've got your notices written down. And Marianne, I picked some numbers for you, and they were very close to what you had picked, but I've got yours written in now. And Kayla, I've got all yours. I changed the wording a little bit, Kayla, but I wanted to do anyway. The little card I got today from the God Insight box: peace on earth, the healing of our planet, the transformation of our worlds begins with me. And the other side of it says, I am one with the joyful love sun, the ecstatic essence of everyone. That's a nice one to have today. I actually had picked a card, for myself. I nearly dropped it. For myself, actually, during the week. And it says, warning, inner peace is both intoxicating and habit forming. And that is true. That is so true. It is very, very rewarding. Anyhow, I trust we have more. So first of all, I'm going to start off with my brother in New Zealand. And I spoke through Messenger today, and he said it was okay to do a mental mind treatment for him. He has been ill, and now he's gone back into the hospital, and they were sending him back home today, thinking they've got what was going on. So I'm going to do this treatment for my brother, whose name is Malcolm, lives in New Zealand. He's my younger brother, the only boy in the family, my baby brother. I laugh at that. He's 6'4", at least he was 6'4.5". So anyhow, I know there is one power in one essence. And I know, as I speak my word for my brother Malcolm, is that there is speedy healing happening, that he is recovering and will move back into full health on all levels with ease and grace. I also know that he might have a little uncertainty about what's going to happen next, because he's had several things happening. But I really see the acceptance of healing, acceptance of love, acceptance of awareness, and knowing that the love vibration is there, whatever you want to call it, whether you call it God or just universe or love force, as I do. The love force is there, and it's like relaxing into that and allowing it to do its work. I give thanks and knowing that for my brother Malcolm, that there is healing. I give just wonderful gratitude that this healing is taking place from this day forth, every day, feeling and getting better and better and better till he is back to being his normal, healthy self. And I release this thought, knowing it is true, by saying, and so it is. I'm going to come back to what I've got in my book, but I'm just going to take a look at this other here. Karen, thank you, my dear. Great session last Wednesday. I'm glad you enjoyed that. I would love a treatment for continued expansion. And the numbers a minute. I'll just get that extent. Yeah, to expand ourselves, expansion. I like that, actually. 14, 21, and 6. Okay. Let's look at your numbers first. And I know that you picked how you picked those because you told me. And let's see what they're saying. 14 is about being balanced on your journey. It's like you're not there yet, but the 21 says again, balancing what you know and where you're heading. 6 says sometimes it needs a little bit more tweaking here and there, but on the whole, you're on the way. So that's excellent. So let's see the treatment here. I'm just going to have a sip of water. My mouth is still dry these days. I know there is one power and one essence, and I know that Karen is connected to that essence. And I also know that as she works with her life, with what she already knows, and as she's adding to that on her journey that she's on, that there is this wonderful sense of balance and awareness. And at times it may get a little confusing because of the old thinking. I'm going to call it old thinking. It's not it's just like old procedures and old awarenesses. I've come into that a lot this last week, actually, where people have what I consider old ideas that don't necessarily work. So it's just a matter of being aware of what is applicable to the law of the vibration of love, the understanding of how the energy works with you. And I just see that continuing as you expand into the love essence of how it all works and where it goes. I give thanks in this knowing as I release this thought, knowing that is true, that it is done. There is expansion and growth, new awareness, new observations, new love entering, which is great and wonderful. And I give thanks as I release this by saying, and so it is. Amen. I like that. Okay. Kayla's giving me, Kayla, I'll come to you first. Now, the numbers that Kayla gave me, or I picked, I don't know, I can't remember now because I've written this a while ago. 22, 17, and 5 is what I've got here anyway. And we want continues with each. Oh, I know what I've got. Yeah. The 22 is having that faith to move forward in a balanced way of growth. So your growth is there, your understanding is there, and the key is to utilize it. Utilize that knowingness, that awareness, that growth. You are a teacher in your own right, and I just feel you need to claim that. And it's not about what other people say, including myself. It's about you claiming what you know in a balanced way for what your image and direction is. I also know here, as I move into treatment, that you're able to continue with each breath to integrate the knowingness that you are worthy and deserve to be joy and love. It is an ongoing process, but it's really about claiming who you are, claiming that essence, and moving forward with strength and awareness and delight. And I give thanks in the knowing of this. I give thanks and being aware of that. And I say thank you. I have another person in the comment, which I will look at first. Melissa, good evening. She says, good evening, Norma. I say good evening back. Lovely to see you. I would love a prayer for prosperity. And just a minute, I got to change my page over. Got lots to work with here tonight. And I'm writing big so I don't lose it. Melissa, 2, 14, and 9 for prosperity. It was funny because I was just saying earlier that I've started working on these shorts, and I've got one that deals with number 2, which is the High Priestess, which is about making a decision. But decision is only the first part of it. And what I see here is that your decision to be prosperous or to move in a different direction needs balance, but it also means to listen to yourself, that you listen to your integrity, that you listen to your awareness, so that you are on total track and don't get sidetracked, but that you're committed to the direction that you want to go in. And it's like we always know, I used to say, we always know our own answers, we don't like them. Sometimes what we tell ourselves is like, no, I don't want that. But the reality is we know and we don't listen. But I see here that you're really wanting to do that. And so let's move into treatment. I know there is one power in one essence, and I speak my word for Melissa. As I speak my word for Melissa, I know that the awareness of prosperity and the many different directions prosperity can come in is moving in and strengthening and deepening and broadening all the elements within you. I feel great joy inside myself as though I have been released from a cage of some kind. And that's that too saying, we're making a different decision here. We're making a different choice. We're going in a different direction. And it's like, and you know what you truly want. And it's like being released from the cage of limitation. It will add to all the prosperity that's coming in from every level, every system, every part of you, so that it brings in a tremendous sense of awareness, growth, and prosperity beyond your imagination. And I love it. I always like that feeling of when I can see everything's opening up. Hold on a sec. Now we go back here. Okay, the next one I'm going to do here, hi Maggie G, I'll come back to you in a sec, is for Diamond. Kayla's soon, hopefully, daughter-in-law. Now, as I look at Diamond and think of Diamond, I get 13, 17, and 20, for those that know the symbology and how that works. There is growth and progress going here, and there's balance and understanding, but there's also acceptance of the bigger power. And that is the one thing I see here, is the trusting the process for the highest and best, feeling worthy and deserving with what you really want to have happen. There's a letting go, I feel, that has been done. There's a moving on. And in that moving on, there's strength, there's purpose, and there's awareness, because there's an acceptance of what is. So there is a tremendous sense of trusting the process. And I truly give thanks in knowing the trusting of the process brings a peacefulness. There's a peacefulness here. There's depth here. There's an element of maybe not far-sightedness, but a sense of being peaceful with whatever, and knowing that all is in its proper and true place, however. But to me, it's the acceptance of where the direction is going, and that it's moving in the direction she wants. And I feel really good about this, and I give thanks, and I release this thought knowing it is true, that it is done for Diamond, to be trust, and just to trust the process. The trust in the whole process always is your highest and best. Even if we don't like whatever, it is for the highest and best. And that's the one thing often as humans we do not get. I know I have it at times, like, oh, what's going on? But the truth is, it's always the highest and best. Only in retrospect sometimes that we see that. But for me here, she's really made a big shift as we've been doing treatment for her for several weeks. There's a shift in here, and I like the feeling of the shift. Now I'm going to look at Jason, which is Kayla's son. And the numbers I have here is 6, 12, and 4. There's a worry here, and there needs to be an acceptance again of what is, and not be stubborn and set. I know that what has been asked for is treatment around worthy of a loving relationship and marrying Diamond with ease and grace. To have that ease and grace, there needs a letting go of the worry, a letting go and moving into trust. So I'm changing this a little bit. I know that Jason knows. I know that Jason has had many years of learning about how the divine works. I know also if he relaxes into the worthiness of that loving energy, then he is able to move with ease and grace into creating exactly what he wants. And that he approaches everything with no strain, no worry, no concern, trusting the process of life. I give thanks for Jason being able to trust the process of life, to be able to move into the place of where he's moving with the ease and the grace that is there. And I release this thought with lots of love, moving through the resistance of the worry and the pain so that he can become relaxed to embrace life fully. And I say thank you for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you, as I release that. And taking a big breath and having another sip of water. Maggie, Melissa says thank you, and I appreciate that. Really, I do. Okay, Maggie G, what do we got for you, my dear? Hello, Norma. So good to see you tonight. I would like a treatment on self-understanding, and it's 4, 10, and 16. Okay, well, I've got another 4 here. And hang on, I want to get that right. We need for understanding. Now, if I'm going to just talk for a moment on these 3 numbers. When we want to have a treatment for understanding, sometimes we need to understand where we block, how we can go into stubbornness, how we can move into knowing things change, but at the same point and the same awareness, fear that everything is going to fall apart or not happen or something. And so what I'm feeling here is a little bit of panic, actually. And only you know if that is real or not, but that's what it feels to me. It's like a panic and grasping at straws, but also just tight because we want it a certain way. And then we're fearful it's not going to be that way. And that's not faith. That doesn't work. That doesn't work with faith. But we want to treat for understanding. I know there is one power in the one essence that is the love vibration that is everywhere and for everyone if they allow it in. I also know that understanding is that you stand on what you know, you stand on what you come to be aware of. And sometimes that means letting go of what you feel needs to be. Number 16 is the tower. And the tower comes and strikes, and we have a choice. And the choice is, do we try and hold on to what is, or do we let it go and move into rebuilding? Because that's what the whole tower is about, because you've got those yards of light leading you up, the 21 steps of the Hierarchana, showing you the way. And the first one, is, of course, is the magician, all things are possible. And that's in the arms there, because it's, even though everything looks like blank and just we've all been there, disaster, like, oh, what's going on? And this is where I've come up across several times this week. You need to trust the process, that the life, everything adds. It's one of the hardest things to explain to people, that everything adds, even when you don't like it. It's only in retrospect, when you look back, that you see, oh, I'm here now because of what happened way back there. So and I know I sort of stopped in the middle of doing the treatment, but it's like, sometimes we have to mentally become aware of what is needed in order to understand the bigger picture, in order to let go of our need to have it a certain way. We want it this way. Prayer doesn't always work that way. Prayer, and especially when we ask for understanding, it's to see the bigger picture. It's to see how everything interlocks and is. And it's often about, when we think of number 16, letting go of where we want it one way, or we want it this way, or we want it the way we want it. And the reality is, we have to breathe, let go, and see what evolves. Because in the understanding, the evolution that occurs is what makes the understanding take effect. Oops, where's that coming from? I thought I turned my phone off, but it's working right now. Buzzing here, buzzing there. It's over there getting recharged. Anyhow, it's just nice it'll stop. So I'm going to take that as saying, yes, okay, right. So anyway, I want to let go of this thought for Maggie G, both love and light, and recognizing the bigger picture sometimes is not seeable. And in the bigger picture, you're able to pull all the things together. I give thanks as I release this, knowing it is true and done, that Maggie G has the understanding that is required or she's requesting at this time with ease and grace. And I give thanks by releasing this and saying, and so it is. And so it is. Okay, thank you. I wish that phone would go away. Doesn't usually go that long. Okay, Mr. 07. I decided I'm not going to read it all out. I'm just going to say 07. Yes. Good evening, Norma. I'd like a treatment on making the most of, you know, I just wondering if it's not if I put an alarm or something on. Stopped. Thank goodness. It's annoying to me. Good evening. I would like a treatment on making the most of time. Oh, I like that one. So time. Wonderful. It starts again. I'd like a treatment on making the most of time, 7, 11, and 18. I'd hate to leave this to go turn that off, but I'm going to just work around it. You'll hear it in the background. I apologize because I had it turned off. So I don't know why it's making a noise. I think it might have stopped. I hope it doesn't start again. Okay, Mr. 07. 7, 11, and 18, which you're probably aware of. The Chariot, leaving behind the old, moving forward. The 11, which is justice. And 18, fear. And these are my words for it. So we want change. Now, I have a saying that I have used for years for myself, which is time is my friend. I can't believe this. That time is my friend. And that I can't stand this. I'm going to leave 2 seconds. Just hold on. I can't figure out what that is. There. I'm sorry I had to leave. But that was my brother's and his wife from New Zealand. I don't know why they're calling me now, but anyway, so they weren't giving up. So I've turned it totally off. So that's time. You, Mr. 07, that's perfect because it was right all about timing. And said that's enough. I got to take care of this. So where am I here? Back onto time. Okay. So 7 is letting go of the past in a way, moving forward. 11 is about commitment to your goal. I know everybody sees that, but I find that it has a lot to do with the 2s, making a decision and then committing to the decision. But there's the fear of this. There's a fear of what time is going to do and going to be. So let me go into the treatment. See, you said on, what is it? I just want to see that again. Where are you up there? I'm making the most of time. The most. There's the fear factor. When you think that everything is in the right timing, you put a thought out to the universe, it doesn't always happen right away. And you have to appreciate the sense of what I call right timing. You need to trust and know that when it is, it's almost like everything has to come together in the right timing to make that work and make that come into a process of understanding. So let's see what the treatment says. I know there is one power and there is one essence. And I know as I speak my word from Mr. 07 that the relaxing into time as his friend, the relaxing into being at one with all that there is and allowing the process of time, that therefore you make the most of time. Everything appears, might think of it out of the soup, exactly at the right time. It may not feel like it. It may not seem like it, but it is. Otherwise, it wouldn't be there. It is by planning, thinking, yes, but also being very flexible. Sometimes when we want to make the most of time, we get very single-minded as to how things are supposed to work. And they don't always work that way, because the universe is always working for your highest and your best. Highest and best is what we ask for always. That my highest and best, I used to say years ago when I was learning a lot of this techniques of prayer, I would say for my highest and best, and then I duck. Because in order to have the highest and best, what has to happen is that you have to learn, you have to come to be aware and everything. And then after a while, it all smooths out. But in the learning process, if you're inciting the universe to guide you, to be there for you, to create for you, it will show you where you got to shift and change. And that isn't always what we want, but it works. And so I know here for Miss Joyce 7 that as we release this whole thought of conversation, treatment that we've done, that you relax into knowing what you want and let it go until it arrives, because it will arrive, sometimes in a different shape than we want. And you will make the most of time. You will, because you'll be ready for it and prepared for it. If it's not instantaneous, it will be there. Believe me, I know, done it many times. So I give thanks for that. And I release this, knowing that you are well taken care of for sure. Just want to readjust this a little bit here. That's okay. Kayla says, wonderful treatments for all. Thank you. Jerry Jason, hi. Thank you, Norma, for your words and all. Yes, leaving the show because my phones wouldn't stop. It was on Messenger. And I thought if I turned up my phone like onto note, you wouldn't get that, but that doesn't true. Hi, my dear from Calgary. It says, hi, Norma. I would love a prayer for protection, learning to put up boundaries in around my business, especially with PPL, all right, people in the arts, taking a lot from my work, trying not to be too worried about it. And she has 7, 11, 2. So yearly. That's quite long. Hang on, let me see. I want to see what I got. Actually, let's think about, I'm not a big one for protection. I'm better for creating an energy of love force. So I might change that wording around that. Boundaries, I understand. And that means listening to yourself and not listening to everybody else. People usually taking a lot from your work and they're using it themselves or trying not to be too worried about it. Yeah, what I'm sensing here, I'm going to go back to your numbers because I think there's the clue. In the 7, we're letting go and moving into the, see, 2 7s, one after another. It's so funny how that often happens. And 11 as well. So as you're leaving and moving forward, this whole commitment to your journey often is difficult because you can't see it. You can't see where it's going. You can't see what's happening. And it says here, yes, you have choices to make, and boundaries are probably one of them, because you know what you need to let go of, where you're heading. I feel very strongly in the 7 that I've really got my hands on the reins. And I think it's about understanding that your journey is your journey. And if other people are wanting to come in on what I would call your bootstraps or whatever, that they're not going to succeed. It might look like it in the beginning, but they're not you. That's the one thing we know with artists. Artists, as you are one. And the one thing here is that you know where you want to go. And even though it's blurry sometimes, I know that it is. So let me do my treatment the way I would like for you, okay? I know there is one power and one essence, and I know that power and essence is with you. And that as you change and grow, many things change and grow. That it doesn't stay stagnant. It's like a pulse that comes from the earth. And because you are connected with all that creative force and that wonderment, it's like sometimes do I go right? Do I go left? Do I go down the center? And it's like listening to that inner knowingness. Does it feel right? Does it look right? Is it have a sense of rightness in it? And if somebody comes along and sort of begins to copy, that also can be an advantage to you, because that is like saying, wow, you have something, but they're not you. They're not. I know I know my first book, someone recreated my first book. But it didn't sell, whereas mine at the time was selling very well. It's like imitation is just saying you've got something right. But you can also, if someone's coming and wanting something, make sure that that's what you want to do. Make sure of that. But remember that divine essence that you have for this wonderful talent that you've got is be it. Be it. Decide if you want to share or not share. I've always shared and then figured, well, wherever it goes from there. But it's like you have to make that decision. And that's that number 11. You have to decide and commit to your journey, regardless of what anyone else says, including me. There is one power and there is one essence, and it works for you. It's there for you. It's creative for you. And yes, you're changing. That's part of the process. It's part of the process of your age. It's part of the process of your work. You cannot always be the same. And the other people's stuff, that's jealous in a way. They're jealous of what you can do. So stand tall, feel the proud. This is me. And you don't have to tell people what exactly you're doing. Just go ahead and do it. Then yes, they want to share, they want to copy it. It's behind you. It's not in front of you. And that's what I want you to understand, that you are loved, that you are able to move in the direction that you want to go in. Okay. Lots of love. Okay. Karen Lee. Okay, what do we got here? Here we go. We're doing good tonight. Karen Lee is, I'd like appreciate treatment for being more aware of your higher self. Higher selves are often quite fun, actually, when I'm working with people in the transformation process and we get see what the higher self wants to have a talk, and sometimes what they say is quite interesting. Okay. 3/17/21, very good. The more you love yourself, which is with the 3, the more you are in balance and able to work it on many dimensions. The key here is the word here that I see is to be more aware of your higher self. When you make connection with your higher self, believe me, anytime they want you to know something, it's like a foghorn. So it's that awareness that when your attention is needing to be brought to somewhere or some topic or something that you're thinking, and they're not super behind it, they'll let you know. Or you can stop, go inside and say, okay, higher self, I need a green light on this, or I need some information on it, and then trust what comes. Over the years, when I first started working with people's higher selves, I often was surprised at what they said. They just don't, they would say things like, well, they don't listen. They're not listening to me, kind of thing. And the key here, I think, is I like the word more, but I think it's about recognizing you can set up the communication line. So the communication line with your higher self works really, really well. It is there. And I don't feel any opposition to this. I just think you need to trust it more. Just trust it. Ask the question, listen for the answer. That's the one thing I found. The higher self usually is just like a thought goes through your head. That's how most higher selves work. there's a thought that runs through. And the thought isn't like your normal little thinking. And I don't mean that disrespectful when I said little, but it's like, and then all of a sudden there's this clarity thought. That's your highest self saying. So just be aware of that more. Be aware and be thankful. But I would say, to me, what I get for you is to pose the question of what you're wanting the answer to. I think that's where it's going to be, because there's a lot of balance in here, a lot of love. There's no opposition. So I just want to do a treatment just by saying, relax, knowing that the power is there to relax so that the higher self can work through you and be, I'm sorry, I'm just reading what Marion says, can I have mine now? So I keep coming back to this. You're the last on my list, kiddo, down here. So yeah, I'll give you in a sec. In a second, yes. And even Kayla saying, remember, of course, I know what I'm doing. Don't trust me? Wow. It's one of those nights, guys. Interruptions here, whatever. No, I hadn't forgotten you, Marion. But I do like to do the comments because they go too fast high up and then I miss them. And that's even worse. But let me just finish off Karen Lee's, please. And be aware that the thought is there and you can work with that. Okay. So it's great. Okay. Marion, she had 3, 6, and 21. And the funny thing was I had picked 5, 3, and 12 for her, which is very similar in the numbering system. I found that was interesting. And she wanted with clarity and I had put down here acceptance of all opportunities. Okay, I know there is one power and there is one essence. I also know that Marion is very connected to the angels and to the knowingness of love and the essence of all. The love force is strong with her. The understanding is there, but sometimes there's confusion. So there's an acceptance of all elements and recognizing the difference in when it's maybes and wonderings, but mostly the bringing into the awareness of everything is one. The power that is here with the acceptance of opportunities that brings clarity and understanding. I just feel I want to relax more. That 6 bothers me there. I just want to relax more and trust the process. Trust, again, that things don't always appear as they appear. They don't always follow a particular line when we're asking for something. Often the line is wide, and sometimes it's easier to leave it wider to bring it in to be able to accept all opportunities with the clarity that to see how it fits. How does it fit in? How does it work? How does it excite? Does it not? Does it bring an opportunity? All of those things that come in. I give thanks and knowing that with 21 there, showing the balance of the spiritual and the material worlds, the pulling it together, the allowing it to become and to be. So I give thanks for Marianne. I give thanks on behalf of all things, knowing that there is one power and the one essence as we work through. And I release this knowing that is true and it is done. That everything is there. Everything is really there. It's nice. That's all I can say. It's nice. I like it. There's no pressure. There's no stress. There's no strife. It flows. And we want flow. As far as I'm concerned, everything is about flow. Anyway, I hope you're happy with that, my girl. Okay, everyone say, remember Marion? Well, of course I remember Marion. It was just happened to be I wanted to take care of these other things. Karen M., hope you're having a nice Monday. I've had a very good Monday, actually. I wasn't feeling that great, to be honest, but I had a good Monday. Yes. Karen Lee says, thanks so much, Norma. I love that. And Marion says, thank you. Yeah, I wouldn't forget you. No, I had you down here. But when I get things earlier, I take them that are on the comment sheets because they go up so fast and then I lose you and then I get confused and I miss people that way. I would not forget you, Marion. No way. I would know. I had everything. But anyhow, I think that's the end of our Monday. And I want to thank each and every one of you. And I'm going to put in a request. I hope you go and take a look at my shorts. I think the one I did today was the best so far. I'm getting a hang of it. It's very different. And know that I'll be back on Wednesday, and as usual. And I have a topic. Mr. 07 wants me to talk about auras. Well, we'll see how that goes, because I don't do a lot. I used to draw auras when people came for a reading. Actually, I used to draw their auras as well and explain them. But I really don't do too much with auras. But I have a real sense of how I feel about them, how they work. So I'll probably, for you, discuss that on Wednesday. And, okay, who is 117? Interesting. This is like Jessie Lee Peterson's silent prayer. Probably very similar. Who knows? She studied under the same people that I did for many years. Many of us studied and used different things. I don't do silent prayers, though, because I like to talk too much. He says, where was my what were your thoughts on the Super Bowl? It was a good game, I can tell you that. I don't have any thoughts because I'm not an American. I don't watch football generally. I watch for the big entertainment in halftime, which I thoroughly did enjoy. And but it was a good game to watch. It was close. It was fun. That was my thoughts on it. It's just a game that I don't follow until the last one. So. Are you a Canadian? Yes, I am a Canadian. I'm a New Zealand implant. I come from New Zealand originally. And he says, oh, your accent is all American. Oh, no, dear. It's down under with Canadian. Yeah, wherever I travel, they think I'm an American. That's true. But no, I'm not. I am a Canadian. Pacific Northwest. So, but I'm a Kiwi. My roots is a Kiwi for sure. Good old NZer. But I don't get back too much anymore. So it's been a great talking to everybody. I'm so glad you listened so well. And I'll be back talking on Wednesday. And I will be, and again, of course, Sunday thought. And I'm going to probably put up a few more shorts. Just want to get a little bit more handle on how those work. It's quite interesting. Okay, let me see what's anything else. Oh, and Lisa Marie. Okay. Before I leave, that's why I guess we had a little extra conversations. I would love anything that comes up for you with 3, 7. I got to write that 3, 7. Let's give me 4 numbers. Okay. You just slipped in under the wire because I was nearly gone. Okay, 3 is all about universal love, and 7 is about change, and 11 is about committing to the change, and 21 is the balancing of the change. So I see change for you. I see you at the helm of the wheel, whether you call it the wheel or the rudder of a boat, whichever way you want to look at that growth that you want to do and where you want to go. Because you have the 3 up front, I really think that you are aware of the higher power and you want to work with that, and you're letting go your fears, you're letting go your worry, and you're deciding to commit to your new journey, and you will succeed. So thank you. Keep on going. That's looking good. And I'm going to say good night, and we'll go on and have a great week, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye now.